What's up, everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Focus Live. Ryan Levy here with my boy Bucky, headed into the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. How you doing, Buck?
I'm doing great. They ran out of Miller Lite, so I got a Coors Light, drinking a nice Levy old fashioned here. But it's not just me tonight. I'm joined by this nice piece of hardware I got in the mail today. Fantasy Focus Super Listeners League champion. The one, the only. You want some, bud? You want some?
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Get that beer going there, pal. We're both drinking tonight.
Oh, man, that makes me so happy to see a host take it down. I lost last year in the semis, but Buck, I'm proud of you, man. 28-man league, and you took it down. Last man standing, took down our boy Adam Engel. So nice work, buddy.
Yeah, and nice prompt delivery here. I got to figure out what to do with the nameplate. I might unscrew it myself, and I might just carve it in there because I'm a poor man. But we'll figure it out. I'm sure it'll look classy by the time I buff everything out and all that. But man, that last week, let me say this before we get into this week's games.
Yes.
I don't know that I could ever survive another 6 NFL playoff game weekend. To have 6 games back to back to back, Saturday and Sunday. I didn't even barely watch the national championship Monday because I was just exhausted. I mean, what a whirlwind of a weekend there.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, especially with them being all spread out like that, there was quite a few beverages consumed here in California. I'm sure several on your end as well. Especially, I mean, it's great. Look, the Bucks win, the Bills win. Yeah. I mean, morale is absolutely soaring all over the place.
I got to get a paper towel for this trophy.
I was going to say, whoever gets that trophy next year is going to have some game-used Bucky material there because that thing is going to be sticky.
The trophy drank the beer now, okay?
Oh, man. We got a few people joining us here. Official Savage on YouTube, Dried Ocean, happy Bills fan there as well. Dennis joining us. What's up, guys? We'll get to your questions and stuff here in a minute as well. But how's it feel to get a playoff win there, Buck, as a Bills fan?
I mean, it's 25 years that I've been waiting on it. I mean, honestly, all I remember from those early times, Dad being upset. Obviously, I cared about football, but I didn't realize what it meant to go to 4 Super Bowls and lose every one of them. So to get that first playoff victory in 25 years, I think it meant a lot for a lot of Bills fans, not just my age, but my dad's age, everybody. It was a really seminal moment. I felt like it was all going to crash and burn. I had flashbacks to the first game of the playoff weekend last year with Houston, where we jump out to a lead. We look great in the first half. Things kind of sputter away, and we lose the game ultimately. And Jesus, it took 3 years off my life, man. But
yeah,
it feels so good just to have a spot at the table. And at this point, the wake-up call win, I think, is exactly what Buffalo needed because they've been cruising so hard for the last 3 weeks of the regular season, the last 6 weeks, getting wins, not all of them that pretty, but I'll tell you, as a Buffalo Bills fan, we're just getting started. One not done.
Yeah, I love that you said that, that wake-up call win, because it felt like they kind of laid off the gas a little bit there, let the Colts creep back in, and the end of the game there, I feel like the refs did everything they could to give the Colts a chance to tie that game. It's pretty crazy, but hey, they pulled it off. That's all that matters. And Dried Ocean there says, we all died inside when Allen fumbled that ball. Yeah, definitely. And Kyle wants to know whose team is going further, the Bucks or the Bills, Bucky? Your two teams.
They're tough to say. I mean, 2 terrible matchups on paper. Ravens and Bills, I'd say, were the 2 hottest teams in the NFL through the last 6 weeks. Ravens have won 6 straight. Bills have won 7 straight. So you couldn't ask for a better matchup, but there are things that really scare me. Number one, their rushing ability outside of Lamar Jackson. Like, Gus Edwards is just toting the rock. J.K. Dobbins has been an epiphany over the last 4 or 5 weeks of the regular season, and he showed out in the playoff game with a touchdown. So, you go into a matchup like this where Buffalo has had a hard time containing the run, containing the middle at times. Ed Oliver's had a good step up over the last stretch, but it's going to be a tough stop no matter what. I look for that game to be absolute fireworks, and you'll see when we get into kind of the game previews here how I feel about that. I think it's going to be high scoring. I think it's going to be something that gets the anxiety going. I was in the fetal position during the last Indianapolis Colts drive, and that is not hyperbole. I was laying on the couch with my hoodie up in fetal position, basically sucking on my thumb because I knew what was coming.
Yeah.
The Reaper always comes and he always slits throats.
Let's just start with that game because we're talking about the Bills and we've already started talking Bills Ravens a little bit.
No, but who's going further? I don't know. Both teams uphill. Bucks on the other shoe,
right.
the other shoe with the Bucks. We'll get into the Bills. The Bucks game though, we'll get into that. But if I were to be a betting man, I'm not betting against Josh Allen right now.
I'm the same way, man. Listen, I'm a diehard Bucks fan, and it felt great to get a playoff win, albeit against a 7-9 team. First time in the playoffs in 12 years. It felt great. Either way you want to cut it. But if I'm a betting man, I think the Bills go further than the Bucks. I want to see the Bills playing in the Super Bowl, and I think they've got the talent to do it. But let's start. Let's break down the Bills game, the night game on Saturday. So they are 2.5-point favorites over Baltimore, and the over-under is set at 50.5 points. I tend to lean more. I'm with you there. I'll take the over 50.5. Yeah. I'm used to saying more because of
I'm taking the over.
But 50.5 points, I'm with you there, man. I think there's going to be some fireworks. But what do you think? 2.5-point spread, is that about right?
I was surprised by it. I thought it'd be -3 Buffalo. So I'm just surprised that this is a Vegas spread. So by Bills home team -2.5, really, they have the Ravens winning this game half the time.
Right.
That's what that tells me. Yeah, I'm not surprised by it. 2.5. I would have thought it would be 3, 3.5, 4. But go Buffalo. I mean, I think the Bills could do a little bit of damage. I have the over. Josh Allen right now, it's going to be very hard to stop him. I think the only person that can contain him is himself. And you saw it with the fumble. He just needs to understand if you have 2.5, 3 seconds in the pocket, that's probably too long. You either need to get out of there, and you see what he can do with the football when he does, right? He does things that Lamar Jackson can't do when he breaks the pocket. He can absolutely throw anywhere on the field and hit dimes. And you got, toe drag swag, Gabe Davis doing his thing. He just needs to play within himself and understand that, look, you're 2 games away from the Super Bowl. You're 1 game away from the AFC Championship. All you got to do is play your game, which in my opinion, he plays it the best at anybody in the NFL. Arm-leg combination. I don't think there's anything better than Josh Allen. So
not even Mahomes?
No. Arm-leg? Give me the arm legs of Josh Allen any day. I love Mahomes, though. Arm and overall mentality, I'll go Mahomes. He's just cutthroat. But if he plays with himself, I look for the Bills to win this game 35-27.
35-27. Okay, I think the Bills win this game as well. I am taking more or over. Sorry, I'm so used to saying that now. And I do think that they cover. So what is the key for them to win this game, though? I mean, obviously, the Ravens stuffed the run last week against Derrick Henry. Bills don't really run the ball all that well anyway. So what is the key to success here? Is it just all on the shoulders of Josh Allen?
No, I think it's A.J. Klein.
Okay.
Linebacker for the Bills. Bills don't deploy a lot of 3 linebacker sets. For the most part, we play a nickel defense, 2 linebackers, 4 down linemen. I would not be shocked if we deploy a nice 7-man front. So, get Matt Milano out on the edge, AJ Klein and Tremaine Edmonds doing their thing. I look for the linebacker core to be the key piece here. And Tremaine Edmonds is going to have to do a great job of spying Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. He's the only one that can keep up with him athletically. So AJ Klein is going to be the one that we rely on to stop the running backs. So it's all, hypothetical, but in my mind, I don't see us consistently deploying the nickel D. I look for us to throw out a little something different at teams than what we've been doing throughout this year, considering the fact that I don't think the passing game is elite for Lamar Jackson, and I don't think their receivers are elite either. And then Matt Milano should he needs to have a better week than last week, but Matt Milano should be able to keep up with a guy like Mark Andrews, excuse me. But for me, it's AJ Klein having to step in and play a bigger role in this game, and neutralizing their run threat is primary option number one for the defense. If they can do that, Bills are in good shape. Offensively, I'm not worried about the Bills. You can look at their offense, you can say they can't run the football. That's false. Right? They can. They choose not to. They extend the run game through short pass game, through zone routes where a guy just simply flops in the zone. Cole Beasley a little bit healthier. Gabe Davis stepping up. I hope that Gabe Davis takes some of John Brown's snaps this week. John Brown played 95% of the snaps and laid a goose for the most part. Dropped a couple balls, did not look sharp. And we love John Brown in Buffalo. We love him. And he can come in for some plays, but Gabe Davis has proven the guy is a hell of a steal for a 4th-round draft pick.
He's been a great surprise this year, man. And I like what you're saying in terms of the spy on Lamar. I feel like that's the way the Bills win this game, is if they can contain Lamar. If Lamar doesn't run for 150 yards in this game, I think the Bills win this game pretty. Now, I don't want to say easily. I'm hesitant to say easily.
Won't be easy.
I'm certainly nervous about it. But if they can force Lamar to beat them through the air, I think they win this game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that's the game plan, and I think that's the difference here in this game, because the Bills' offense isn't going to change. We're going to give them new looks, different types of looks, and we do it every game. So, Bills go to the AFC Championship.
Love to see it. All right, let's go back to the first game of the weekend. We got the Rams. I guess that was somewhat of a surprise there. Maybe not, depending on who you ask, who took down the Seahawks last week. I mean, they just dominated Seattle defensively. And they're taking on the Packers here. Packers are 6.5-point favorites at Lambeau. Over under set at 45.5. Do the Rams have what it takes to win this game with a banged up Goff?
No.
Okay.
Packers are the class of the NFC, and they've proven it all year. Aaron Rodgers at the helm. I think it's over 45.5. I think this ends up with 53 points. I just don't see a way that they can penetrate aside from an elite run game, which I'm not sure that the Rams have. I don't think they have it. And I don't think they're going to beat the Packers by throwing the football around the yard. The way that they could neutralize the Packers is establishing a consistent run game, bleeding clock, and turning it into a last 2 or 3 possession game.
Sure.
I don't foresee that happening.
You don't think Cam Akers can do that?
No, I don't. He'll have a good game. What I'm saying is they need a guy to simply control the clock here. And it's going to be tough to do when you have Aaron Rodgers on the other side with Devontae Adams.
Right. I'm with you there. I just don't think the Rams have enough firepower on offense to keep up. If the Rams don't score a defensive touchdown or get a couple turnovers on defense, I just don't see them keeping up with the Rams here.
Yeah.
Or, keeping up with the Packers, I should say.
Yeah. My final score prediction here is 32-21.
32 points against that Rams defense, huh?
Yeah.
I guess my biggest fear is I watched a lot of Packers football this year, and they seem to let off the gas. They're like a first half team hardcore, and they just put it into neutral after that. So I hope they've learned their lesson on that, and I hope they continue to pound them. But if I'm a betting man, I'm definitely taking the Packers first half there, and I just hope that they continue to pour it on in the second half.
I got official Savage here saying Cam equals 200 yards from scrimmage. I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm not feeling 200 yards from scrimmage from him.
I'll take 110.
Okay, I'm with that. All right. So you said 32-21 was your final score?
32-21.
I'm thinking a 27-14 game. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to protect the ball. He's not going to throw a pick. Hopefully no fumbles in this game. And I just don't think that the Rams are going to be able to score enough points to win this game. So I'm going to go 27-14. So I say they cover 6.5 point spread. Any additional thoughts on this game?
Yeah, they're going to cover a 16.5 point spread. Is that what you said?
No, the spread is 6.5. But I said my projection, yeah, I guess they would cover that, right? I'm bad at math. 27-14.
Yeah, it's official savage. Goff can't throw too far. A lot of dump offs. Green Bay defense isn't as good as we think. I agree with you as far as their front. Official. I'm going to call you official from now on. Yeah, their front is not that good, but they do have a pretty staunch secondary, and Cam Akers getting 200 yards would equate to a Rams victory. I will say that. If that's the case, then good luck. They did the exact same thing that I just said they needed to win the game. That means they're controlling the clock. That means they're limiting touches for Aaron Rodgers. That's the only way they do it. So you might be right. That's their recipe. Do I think that's going to come to fruition? No, not so much. I think Aaron Rodgers slaps it on him.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Buck. I don't think, and I did the math there, 27-14 is only 13 points. So.
Yeah, it is. It's 13. I did that before. I kind of scarecrow argued you there.
Yeah, I was like, what did I say something wrong? No, the spread's 6.5 to confirm. But yeah, I mean, I don't believe in the Packers defense. I don't think they're that great by any means. They can stop the pass, and if they're beatable anywhere, it's on the ground. But I just don't think that the Rams have enough firepower to keep up with Aaron Rodgers and the boys. And I think the way to win this game for the Rams, sure, if he gets 200 yards, total yards, Cam, they probably do win this game. But I think the defense needs to score a touchdown for them to stand a chance in this game.
Sure. I'm on the same page there. 200 yards, then yeah, they have a shot. But if he doesn't get to, let's say he doesn't get to 150 yards, they better have a defensive touchdown because this game's not gone as planned.
Right. Ilias wanted to know your prediction for Bills-Ravens.
Ilias, give topless, my guy. 35-27 Bills.
I'm going to say 31-24 Bills.
Okay. I got a little splasher, a little flasher than you did there.
You did. It's going to get a little crazy here, though, because I got a little insight into your next picks. So any additional thoughts on the Packers-Rams game there, Buck? And then we'll get into the comments after we go through
I think this is going to be one of those playoff games, though. Like, I had it with an 11-point win for the Packers. I think this is going to be one of those playoff games that a lot of people expect for not a blowout, but, a nice comprehensive performance from the Packers to just go out, do their business, win that game easily. And this is the one, when you look at this slate, in my opinion, probably the least attractive on the surface. And I think it's just going to be a damn good football game at the end of the day.
Yeah,
it's like
I'm excited.
Bucks Redskins, right? Nobody saw that coming.
Great game, though.
Great game.
From what I remember of it, anyway.
I remember quite a bit. It was painful.
All right, let's get into the Sunday games. Excited to see the Cleveland Brownies get the big dub against the Steelers. Just pretty much manhandled them for most of the game there until they made it close at the end. But Cleveland is a 10-point dog against the Kansas City Chiefs. What are we thinking here, Buck?
Well, let's just start with the trends out of Kansas City as of late. They have one advantage, in my opinion, going into this game, and that is you got an extra week of rest, an extra week of preparation, albeit having a game plan for two separate teams if that's what they're going to have to install there the week after the Browns take that win off the Steelers. Here's what I've seen out of the Chiefs. The Chiefs can be had, and the Chiefs will be had in this game. Baker plays ball control offense. He's stepping it up as far as finding the receivers when it matters. He's also, he's got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, for Christ's sake.
Right.
they are going to play their game, and they've shown that they can get out to a quick start. Now they have sputtered at times through the last 6-7 weeks. I think 2 losses in that span. But ultimately, when I look down at the Chiefs throughout their last 5 or 6 games, it has been just knockdown, drag out fights where they're having to do something spectacular to win the game or just barely eke out the game via defense. They're getting it done. They're a great team. This doesn't take anything from them. There's something about how hungry this Browns team looked against the Steelers that made me, and yes, were they served it on a platter? Perhaps.
Sure.
But they got it done. And everybody discounted Cleveland. I'm taking Cleveland here. I got Cleveland 31-27, upset of the century. Put the entire globe, the axis has totally overflipped. All of a sudden now we're in New Zealand area and we're in the summertime. It's not the winter here anymore. Just put the earth on its axis. Cleveland Browns beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And this isn't just for effect. I truly have a feeling the Cleveland Browns upset the Kansas City Chiefs 31-27.
Well, hey man, I love the set of cojones on you there. That's it's crazy. I think it's disrespectful by Vegas to have the Browns as 10-point dogs. I do think they cover the spread, but someone said it here in the comments, Dried Ocean, Andy Reid too good off a bye, and I'm with you. That's kind of my mentality there. So I think Kansas City wins this game, but I think they're going to eke it out by a field goal. I'm seeing a 27-24 game here in favor of Kansas City. So I do think it's an under. The over under set at 57 points. That's insane. That's a little bit too high for me.
I got the over there.
So you got 58 points, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go 27-24 KC for me. That is my projection there. But I mean, Cleveland, and someone else said here, Savage Babino Rosas, if you think the Browns are going to win, are they the team that knocks off Buffalo? With that run game, man.
I mean, absolutely a possibility.
Let's not put the cart before the horse, but I mean, I get what you're saying.
I'm conditioned to go into every single game having to wear adult diapers. Like, this is what I do. And not just on game day, but in the days prior to, because it's all I have in my mind. I'm listening to WGR 550, Shope and the Bulldogs spitting out whatever they spit out. It just gets me going, but it also makes me think about the game way too much. So yeah, I've transitioned into a Depends band, which leads us to our first ad read of the day. Depends. It's for men and women.
Oh, there you go. There you have it. I love it, man. That's good.
Am I crazy for thinking the Browns have a shot?
No, listen, I've been on the Browns train for a few years now, and I was a little bit too far ahead. I made a bet infamously with you and Tater. I think it was last year that the Browns would win 9 games. And I think they finished with 8. They had some close losses. I believed in the talent of this team, and it's good to see Baker finally hitting his stride. The run game is good. The defense can do work when they're playing well. Stefanski's going to be back out there this week. I know they won without him, with him being in his basement and everything last week, but I think it's going to be a really close game. I think people are disrespecting Cleveland too much here, man. But ultimately, I am a Mahomes believer without a doubt, and their defense is pretty solid as well. So, and much improved.
It certainly is. But man, you get Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, and Baker playing the way that he's been playing. I just got a feeling. I got a feeling Cleveland, Buffalo, AFC Championship in the Ralph, sharing the same Lake Erie.
That's incredible.
Different wins, of course. They have the easterly winds that hit them in both spots, but we, a little less northerly winds. Let's go, Frag. Yeah, I just have a weird feeling about it. This whole weekend, I would have done anything in the world to have Pittsburgh beat Cleveland, just so that Bills played Pittsburgh because we just dismantled them, ripped them to shreds. And now we're left with the slate where we got to face, in my opinion, the second hottest team in the NFL, Baltimore Ravens. So AFC is just, in my opinion, aside from the Saints and the Packers, I think any team that's left in the AFC could beat any team left in the NFC. I think the AFC just has that kind of panache to them right now.
So far, we've only picked officially one underdog in Cleveland. I picked them to cover. Bucky's picking them to win, but I'm curious to see what you say about the prime time. I hate to say this, the Bucs playing on prime time on Sunday Night Football. You know, the track record's not great on prime time, and it's definitely not great against the Saints this year. So I'm certainly nervous.
It's like an hour and a half earlier than the normal prime time.
True. So it's like, daylight savings time prime time, I guess.
It's like twilight time.
There you go. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, it's like twilight time.
Of course, the Bucs are underdogs. I think they should be. You look at their body of work this year, they really haven't beat anyone great besides the Packers. They beat up on bad teams and they get their ass handed to them by good teams or better than average teams. So I'm concerned as a Bucs fan. They are 3-point dogs in this game. The over-under is set at 52 points. What are we thinking here, Buck? What are we thinking? I want to believe that Brady's not going to lose to the same team 3 times in a season.
I think it's going to be lower scoring. I think it'll be the under for the first time. I'll go with the under here. I've got Saints 27, Bucs 21.
27-21 Saints for Bucky. I just gotta pick the Bucs, man. I'm gonna say the Bucs take it home 28-24.
So do you have depends as well? Like, are you gonna get some depends for that? Because that is gonna take everything out of you.
Especially on Sunday night, man. I might have to, start my workday a little. You know what? I'm going to go out there and I'm going to pull a veteran move and block off the calendar now.
Oh, see, I'm on PTO. I can't handle playoff football without having a Monday cushion. I learned that the hard way this week. I went face first into a day full of meetings on Monday. I think I said 8 words.
Well, I'm fortunate enough to not work for the man right now, so I am an independent, so I get to just block off my calendar as I see fit. So hopefully, no one scheduled any calls for me on Monday morning.
You better get that phone out right now. For me, with this game, the Saints are just too damn consistent, and the Bucs aren't. It comes down to consistency this time of year. I go off the trends that I see. Sure, can the Bucs hang points? Yeah, when they're playing well. But can they also be susceptible to get points hung? Allergies, man.
Bless you.
Let me tell you, January in Florida, that was a hell of a noise there. January in Florida, I don't know what that was. I think I just blew. I think part of my brain just fell out of my nostril. All right, back to reality. I just feel like the Bucs ultimately are going to disappoint us. And it's a disappointment for me too. I get a lot of shit from my friends here in Tampa that, you're just a paper Bucs fan. And you know what? Do I care about the Bucs as much as the Buffalo Bills? Not even close. But do I care a whole lot? Absolutely. I want my friends to be happy. I want my city to be happy. I want to get specials at the various eateries that I eat at for saying go Bucs. So, I'll do what I can to get a couple free empanadas every now and again, and maybe, like a discount on one beer out of a bucket of 5 at the patio. Who knows? But go Bills.
Yes, I'm with you, man. It just feels like we could be set up as Bucs fans for disappointment. I know the hype is real, but like I said, they just really haven't beat anyone good this year other than the Packers. And I feel like that game for the Packers was kind of an anomaly. And if somehow they get through and the Packers get through and we've got these two in the NFC Championship, I don't see the Bucs ramrodding the Packers again. I just don't see that happening. But look, we got to get past the Saints first. I'm going to believe that Brady and Arians are doing their homework. They've got obviously a different game plan. Hopefully Bowles has got his shit together this time because it was really embarrassing last time on prime time. I don't remember if it was Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football when the Saints absolutely dismantled the Bucs. But I got to believe deep down that there's going to be a better game plan this week. And I just hope that the Bucs can keep it close. If it comes down to the end, you know who you want to be your quarterback in the fourth quarter of a playoff game. So I'm gonna stick to my guns there and go Bucs 28-24.
Look, I'm rooting like hell for it. I'm just trying to call the board like I see it. I got Saints winning that game. We got a few questions here. One from Bobino Rosas. Was Zach Moss gone? Do you see a workload for Singletary and Freeman being enough if it snows? I don't think it's going to snow, Bobino. It looks to me like it's going to be hovering around 30 degrees with overcast clouds, but not precipitation. I don't want snow. Let me be first to report. The last thing I want is snow right now. That just opens Lamar Jackson up to a world unknown. It's not even been discovered by man yet. If it is snowing and defenders have to like try to keep up with that guy, keep up with his cuts, it's going to be a nightmare. Talk about, Christina Yamaguchi. We're going to need some Christina Yamaguchis out in the ice skates trying to keep up with this guy.
Right.
I got Roscoe saying the Ravens are going to curb stomp the Bills. You know what, Roscoe, you might be right, but you might be wrong. And that's why we have conjecture on the internet. And I love you for it, Roscoe.
Yeah, Roscoe, thanks for tuning in. I don't see it happening either. I think it's going to be a close game.
So if it snows, though, back to this, I'm not sure that Freeman is the guy that I'm just dropping in. I understand that Devonta Freeman can do a lot as far as receiving the football in the flats and doing a bit with it, but I'm not sure that I'm high on a guy that hadn't played a lot of football recently.
No, I mean he's bounced around now this season for a reason, right? I mean he's not great. I'm a Florida State guy. I'm a Freeman fan. He's just not great. I'm not excited about it. So
well, here's my thing: if it snows, Bills are, in my opinion, we're behind the 8 ball. We're going to have a hard time if it snows because we don't have an established run game. In fact, we just abandon it as soon as we can. And all of a sudden, you have Josh Allen with 11 rush attempts last week for the first time all year, right? Like, we don't need Josh Allen carrying it that far. If we're going to make the Super Bowl, it needs to be with the same offense that's got us there, and that's throwing the football, screen game effectively. And then, Devin Singletary did look effective running the football last week. That was good. But he only got 3 carries.
Right.
You're not going to win games at this level if we can't get running backs to run for 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 carries and be productive with it, especially if it's snowing. So Freeman, I don't know what's going to happen there. It's great that they signed him. I think he's definitely a plug and play guy for certain scenarios. But I do want to see the young kid, Antonio Williams, get in there. The rookie out of North Carolina, we haven't seen him have to really catch the football or anything of that nature. So I do think that TJ Yeldon might even get the call up instead because we know TJ Yeldon had a couple of productive years receiving the football there in Jacksonville. But there's a lot that we don't know. No matter what, I think it'll be good to go. He is fresh, Savage. He is fresh.
Yes, he is. I'm going to scroll back up and hit some of these other comments real quick. Official Savage really hopes the Rams steps up and take out the Packers. Just don't know if I see it, man. Just don't know if they can keep up. But hey, I didn't see it against Seattle either. I thought it was going to be much closer. I thought it was going to be like a 3-point game either way.
I could have, if we did this last week, I would have been right. That says every pundit ever.
Dennis giving you some love for taking down the 28-man Super Listeners League. Thanks for tuning in all season. Sir. Appreciate it. Here we go from Do. In Dynasty, I traded Mike Evans, Jonnu, and the 107 for Scary Terry, Gesicki in the 110. Thoughts? I'm personally not doing that.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it. You're trading away the only thing that I don't like is the 107 piece of it for the 110. But you did get younger.
Right.
Jonnu, they haven't figured out how to use him. I don't ever see the Titans really rolling out a tight end heavy offense. I mean, they targeted 3 separate tight ends last week. They each had 3 targets or more. So where does Jonnu really fit in? They're not really making him their man. They're not making him their Kelsey. Hell, they're not even making him. They're Dawson Knox in Buffalo. And Dawson Knox is, for fantasy purposes, pretty terrible. Mike Evans, he's a fantastic player. But Scary Terry's that reception hog, Dio. If you're in a PPR format, I want Scary Terry over Mike Evans every day.
For me, I mean, I'm with you 100% on Jonnu. I'll take Gesicki over Jonnu 100%, no doubt about it. And I'd rather obviously have the 107 than the 110. It's just, for me, I think Mike Evans is going to have another 2 solid years before he starts to descend there. So
I'd say 3. He's still young.
Okay, fair enough. 3 years. I just the trade is fine. There's nothing crazy wrong with it or anything like that for me. It's just
you like the draft picks.
Yeah, I like the draft picks and I like Mike Evans. I just, not that I have any problem with not so Scary Terry, but he is a target hog, so I think the trade's fine.
I love Scary Terry. Give me all of him.
There we go. Dennis got second, could have won. He started Herbert over Allen, Cleveland over the Bills D, QT over Jameson Crowder. Super close on all of those, made the wrong call. Hopefully we didn't influence you too bad on that. I feel like we might have said Herbert over Allen in championship week. I don't necessarily.
I did. I was dead nervous about everything at that point in time, man. I wasn't seeing clearly now. The rain was here. It wasn't gone.
Right. Yeah. Better luck next year, though. You had a good season, Dennis. Quick thoughts on how we feel about the possible delay of game calls not being called against the Colts.
All right. In the moment, I was at a friend's house, and let's just say if it would have been my television, there might have been a sandal chucked straight through it. Frustrating. That seems like something so simple. And it wouldn't have bothered me if the commentators hadn't said, oh, well, it's a procedural thing. They have to look down at the field and then look up at the play clock. I mean, they clearly violated the play clock and let it tick over 0 3 or 4 separate times. And you got to call that at least once, especially when it results in points for one of those drives. So, yeah, it was disappointing. Really pissed me off. And like I said, I probably would have needed a new TV if I were at my own establishment. So I'm happy I wasn't.
Kyle says Allen versus Jackson, battle of the 2018 first round QBs. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, man. It's Fragger also thinks the Browns are going to win. He says the KC defense isn't that good, especially against the run. And if you look at the teams that beat them or almost did, they had the ball longer than KC. That's what we need to do. We also need to force a fumble or try to pick off Mahomes. That's what we can do to beat KC. Yeah, I'm with you, man. It's possible. Like I said, I think they cover. Bucky thinks they win. So looking forward to it. This is Cleveland has arrived.
The best thing that could ever happen is Bills win, Rams win. I'm sitting there Saturday night listening to WGR 550 into the wee hours of the morning. I got my earplugs in, but I still hear them. And then I wake up the next morning, I get to watch Kansas City lose to Cleveland. And then Tampa Bay beat the Saints. And all of a sudden, wow, that'd be amazing.
Oh, sure.
Bills outright favorites at that point.
There you go. But you think the Rams now? You hope the Rams win.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying like perfect scenario, not what I think is going to happen. I think the Bills are going to lose by 60.
Yeah, there you go. Jonnu is a pending unrestricted free agent. What are the chances he goes to a better landing spot?
Is there really any place in the NFL right now where you feel confident a tight end is going to go and get 6+ targets a game? Not me.
Nah, I'm with you there. Who knows, man? It's too early to tell, but I mean, I like him as a player. I think he's a good player.
They're going to re-sign him.
I hope so.
I don't. I want him to go somewhere where he'll be featured a little bit more.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Savage is a Lions fan, used to being screwed by the refs. There you go. That sucks, man. It's rough being a Lions fan.
Yeah, and then Kyle with the awful management. Good Lord, Frank Reich. Frankie boy. The kind people of Buffalo thanked you for what you did in 1995. We thank you thrice more for what you did in 2021. You blew it. You absolutely blew it.
I want to get your thoughts. A couple pieces of news here. What do you think about the Eagles firing Peterson?
Makes no sense. Makes zero sense.
Do you think it was a push from management ownership to keep Wentz? Is that the scenario? Is that what we're looking at here?
For the sake of the betterment of the program there in Philadelphia, I hope that was the case.
I think that's the only way I can make it make sense in my head. Like Jalen Hurts was Peterson's guy. Ownership wasn't all that high on him being the franchise quarterback. I mean, they're paying Wentz a shitload of money.
I don't know. I think Peterson is a really good coach, and he should get a fair shake at some of these openings.
Oh, I agree, man. I think he's a good coach. I mean, the 3 years removed from a Super Bowl. And the last point I wanted to bring up here, Babino just brought it up in the chat. How do we feel if Deshaun ends up in Miami? I guess my question to you, Bucky, I don't know if you saw the Schefter tweet or Instagram, whatever, about the rumor of trading Tua for Watson and a slew of picks, I'm sure, whatever the scenario is. Is Watson the starting quarterback for the Texans next year?
No.
Is it Miami?
No.
Oh, man. Where's he going?
I don't know. Spin the wheel. He won't be there. They're not just getting away from Tua after half a season playing. No way. Too much invested there. And what, Houston all of a sudden is just going to say, give me Tua and a draft pick? You have Deshaun Watson.
Right. Well, I mean, if he's that unhappy and
he's got a top 6 quarterback in the league who's young as hell and fitting the prototype for what the NFL is looking for with their quarterbacks. Why all this? Does Tua fit that prototype? I don't think he does. Deshaun does.
This is true. I mean, he could go to Denver, Detroit. Savage is saying Lions. I don't think he'll go to Detroit, but maybe.
Man, that Detroit is juicy, Savage. Get him to Detroit. That'd be fun. I want to see him in the Dome again.
I want to see him go somewhere else, man. I just think it would be cool. I would love. I'd like to see him go to Denver, even. You know, they got a good defense, a good young receiving core.
Nah, they got the guy who likes to, sing rap songs on the sidelines and dance and do all of his dumb shit. Drew Lock, he'll be fine.
True. All right. Well, I hope he gets traded. I think it'll be fun. That's just like the fantasy football in me. I like to see trades and things like that. But another question here: if you were a GM for the Jags, would you trade Trevor Lawrence for Watson?
No. You got to think about those rookie contracts.
What do you think about Urban? Urban rumored to be the Jags' next coach. I know you're.
That would make a lot of sense. That would make a ton of sense. To be honest, I think Urban. If there's anything that kind of plagued him in his later years, it was having to deal with not paying players. So now that he'll be able to pay players, I think the NFL is kind of molding itself not into a collegiate style offense, but there are elements that he could really lean on when he gets the right personnel in. You give him Trevor Lawrence, I think he's set up for success. To answer Bobino's question, Trevor Lawrence for me is who I want to lead. Look, you see it with the Bills, okay? And obviously it's as close to home, so it's easy for me to kind of talk about. But Bills draft Josh Allen 3 years ago. At that point, we had more money to invest in all of our weaknesses to build a very strong core, not just of veterans, not just of younger players, but a strong core of pros, seasoned vets that can come in there at whatever their asking price is. The team can afford them. The team can afford to address all of their weaknesses with a rookie quarterback that comes up right very quickly. Trevor Lawrence will do that. Trevor Lawrence will come up very quickly, and it allows teams, as far as salary cap movements, to pull in everybody else around him and really make it work. If you trade that, you better be getting a shitload of draft picks and compensation for that. Like Trevor Lawrence, I'll give you Trevor Lawrence, and I need draft picks and Watson, because guess what? Everything's going to flip on its head when the contract time comes. So that's the one thing. You have a chance at 4 years with that quarterback with a 5th-year option as well. Look, I'd rather take the rookie QB at 1 overall.
Yeah, and I was going to say, correct me if I'm wrong here, but they don't even have the picks to give there with Watson, right? That's probably part of the reason they'd be willing to deal him to a team like Miami, because they need picks back.
Yeah,
because
they
the
do.
mess that O'Brien created there. So
Oh,
anyway,
what a dumpster fire.
it should be an interesting offseason though, man. There's some interesting things going to happen, and I'm eager to see what happens with Watson. But any additional thoughts before we close out for the week here, Bucky?
Oh, nothing from me. Go Bills, go Bucks.
Go Bills, go Bucks. We're going to be coming at you at least every 2 weeks during the offseason. During the playoffs here, we'll go live once a week and provide you with some entertainment and some analysis and picks and all that good stuff.
I wouldn't say analysis, but you'll at least hear what I have to say.
Yes, there you go. And if you guys are looking for a place to play DFS outside of DraftKings and FanDuel, make sure you check out Monkey Knife Fight and use code FOCUSED when you make your first deposit of $50 or more and get yourself a free 50. And that'll do it for this edition of Fantasy Focus Live. Good luck to your teams out there. Go Browns to the Browns fans. Go Bucks, go Bills. See you guys soon.
See y'all.